As a Russian who lived there for 23 years and seen everything with my own eyes, I want to tell you what do I think about Putin. And just by the look of it, you can tell that I'm not in Russia, and it will give you a little glimpse of what do I think about the second Hitler. And when I say with my own eyes, I mean is that I was working on Russian media, but not Putin's media. I was working on independent media in my own city with a population of 500,000. But when this war started, Putin's regime took my job and took jobs of thousands of people. Thousands of people lost their jobs because when this war started, Putin went absolutely Hitler mode and shut down all the medias. So now I'm forced to live outside of Russia because I am just afraid for my life. When Putin came to power, he came to power with lies. Since his early age in politics, he knew how to brainwash people. So that's why he actually came to the power. He and his killer's friends took over Russia, and they're still to this day in power. They're all billionaires, they all have a lot of money, they're just stealing from Russia, and instead of giving to people, they're just putting all the money somewhere in offshores. Somewhere in like Bahamas and stuff. He just simply hates Ukraine because Ukraine exists. While there was his body in the charge of Ukraine, he was okay with this. He doesn't care about Ukraine, and he doesn't care about Russian people. He doesn't view them as a people. He's viewing them as his puppets. Whatever he wants to do, he just will give an order to his propaganda machine, and they will turn Russian people to whoever he wants, like he did with Ukraine. Let's say, for example, tomorrow he wants to invade some other country that is not part of NATO. Just give his propaganda a few months, like 3-4 months, and Russians will hate that country. And that's how big his propaganda machine is. He controls every single media. And it was really hard for all of us independent people working. We were fully dependent on either ads or generous people who would donate and support us. But all the big Russian independent media is now working outside of Russia. And they lost a lot of workers because they just simply cannot pay. I actually have seen some reports that says when Putin came to power, he was planning to establish democracy in Russia, but it's absolute bullshit. He was just planning to do what he does right now. I was lucky enough to live in Americanized Russia. That means that there was a lot of American TV shows, a lot of American culture, American fast food and stuff like that. And it seemed like Russia is finally okay with America. But all this time Putin was thinking about his fucking evil plans. He was just making sure that all the people he wants to be in charge are in charge. They're okay. They can simply steal, they can simply kill, and everything is good. And that's what happened. He actually started creating some dumbass laws to protect Russia from Western culture, because to kissing man is too much for Russia. It's unholy. It's unchristian. When Putin gave away his spot to another person to become a Russian president, people thought, wow, there's actual hope. It's happening, democracy. But no, because Medvedev was this kind of pro-Western guy. He had a Western view of the world. He was saying that Russia shouldn't control the media, that no government should control the media. He was giving hopes for the LGBT community. And overall, he just had this pro-Western views of the world. But then he invaded Georgia. And he got mad that nobody supported him when he invaded Georgia. And meanwhile, all this time, Putin was planning his evil plans. He was planning what to do with Ukraine, and just what kind of law should I create so people will like me even more. I think it's clear for everybody that Putin still wants to control the post-Soviet countries. He doesn't want them to go to the right way. He doesn't want them to be independent from Russia. He doesn't want them to build democracy or just have its own culture, its own history. They're part of USSR. And it's not like in all these post-Soviet countries, the leaders are not pro-Russian, or they actually like the maybe Soviet Union. And Medvedev was meeting with Obama, with a lot of world leaders. He really enjoyed his time in Hawaii, and they were really friendly with Obama, is what I used to think. And so Putin goes back to the power, he became a Russian president, and with this, he brought a lot of unhuman laws, and he only let Russia slide down But for all the post-Soviet people, it was like go up. It was just a blind belief, because propaganda set their brain in that mode that they can bring the USSR back. You know, if we're gonna go in details about his policy and all what he did, it can take literally hours, days. But in conclusion, this is what I think about Putin. I wish him slow, painful, miserable death in fear. What he did to all the Russian people, what he did to all the Ukrainian people, he is the second Hitler. He turned Russia into a fascist country. He destroyed human lives. He doesn't view Russian people as human beings. He genuinely thinks that he's a god and that he will live forever. He is a murderer. He is a thief. He using the Russia's huge achievements in World War II with so many lost lives, and he using it as the main reason to justify his actions in Ukraine. His parents fought World War II. He turned the biggest Russian achievement of defeating fascist Germany into his biggest and main propaganda tool. I wish him nothing but burn in hell.